So that's kind of what I'm hoping we're able to do with Talent Collective here in New York is kind of create those spaces so that women can open up and really authentically ask for help. And really kind of reach across the table and be like, I've done this before, and let me help you. And we've already seen value in that in all the events that we've done so far. I think every single person has been like, yeah, I've done this before. Let me share my experience. So it's been great.
Amazing. Well, thanks for sharing. Yeah, we're very excited for the New York communities. There's so many women there, and women who, like yourself, really want and crave that connection with each other. And you're speaking to a lot of the reasons why we started Talent Collective. When, like you talked about, when you're getting together with your girlfriends, hopefully we've all had those relationships that you can really rely on and depend on. And we really want to foster that kind of culture within Talent Collective, where it is all about giving back and helping empower each other and help each other succeed instead of tearing each other down as women. So thank you for championing that. I hate that word, championing
Championing,
that.
championing.
It's like the worst word, but doing that for us in New York. So thank you. So I'm going to get into some juicy questions here that we have for you today. I'm going to start off with something on the more vulnerable side. We're all human, and we all experience challenges, and I think that that's something that can also really unite us as humans and bring us together. So if you're willing to share something that you've had a challenge with, something on the more serious side, maybe it was personal, but maybe it was career wise, that was really difficult for you in your life. What was that challenge? How did you overcome it? And what were some takeaways or learnings from that experience?
So whenever I think back on some of the major challenges that I've ever had, they're almost always having to do with communications. And I studied communication. So it's like I dive deep into those and I think that, okay, this is one of those things that it's like I'm excited to get to the bottom of the problem. And not everyone sees it that way. Some people are like, we don't like conflict, we don't like disagreement. And I'm 100% on board with that. I bring the elephant in the room to the center stage so that we can talk about it and make it less awkward. So that's typically one of the things that I think does kind of feel challenging at times is when you get into environments where they're not used to that. I I've been in startups for a good amount of time to the point that I have not been I'm going to say traumatized by I have been in the past, but like, no longer am I traumatized by the things that you would know in corporate world where basically, you can't say certain things to certain people because of who they are and because of the titles that they hold.
Mm.
Um, I've gotten now more used to being in a flat organization where you're able to actually say what you see because your perspective is valuable. Um, that being said, I do encounter plenty of people that do come with that corporate trauma. And so when somebody like myself comes and corrects them as a TA partner and says, that's, I think that could be a little bit biased. They fight back. We've definitely had hiring managers that disagree. But I'm going to go with an example that's not with a hiring manager, but I'm going to go with example that I had with the Girl Scout troop leaders recently, just because they're also a very flat organization. They function very similarly to how startups do, which I think is really great, the values that they instill. And the idea is that all decisions are made by, the girls, it's girl led. And our job is to facilitate that. And we see in most startup spaces that I've been in, leaders have specific duties that they're supposed to be doing